Lucid dreaming is not just about becoming aware within a dream. It's about stepping through a portal into the deepest layers of the self, beyond the mind, beyond memory, and even beyond the identities we carry in waking life. What I'm about to share is not theory. These are direct experiences gathered over years of conscious dreaming, carefully recorded and reflected upon. Each dream is like a mirror, but some mirrors don't just reflect your image, they reflect your soul. 1. Becoming aware inside the dream. The first time I became lucid, it felt like waking up inside another world. I noticed a small detail, a light switch that didn't work. Suddenly, everything sharpened. The colors glowed with a strange vibrancy, and I realized I'm dreaming. My hands were the first thing I examined. They looked familiar but also strange, like my mind was struggling to reconstruct them. Time slowed down. I felt awe, fear, joy, and confusion all at once. That first moment of lucidity opens a door, not just into the dream world, but into the layers of your consciousness. From there, the journey truly begins. 2. The dream world responds to you. One thing became clear early on: the dream world is not fixed. It responds to your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs. If you're afraid, the dream becomes chaotic. If you're curious, it unfolds in wonder. There was a moment when I felt overwhelmed by the intensity of a dream. I asked for help, not with words, but with emotion, and the dream answered. A calm figure appeared and guided me gently through a stormy landscape, which slowly began to clear. This is when I realized the dream is alive. It is not separate from me, it is me in symbolic form. And the more I interact with it like a living intelligence, the more it teaches me. 3. Calling for a dream guide. I had read about dream guides, entities or aspects of the subconscious that appear in lucid dreams to teach or protect. One night I called out, "I want to meet my dream guide." There was silence, then a ripple in the fabric of the dream. A woman appeared, ageless with eyes like galaxies. She didn't speak at first. She just looked at me, and I felt layers of myself unfold, memories, wounds, longings. Eventually she said, "You're not here to learn, you're here to remember." From that night onward, I understood that dream guides aren't always distinct characters. Sometimes they're emotions, landscapes, even moments of silence. But when they appear, they bring a vibration of truth. 4. Healing in the dream. Lucid dreams can be a space of deep healing. Once, I found myself in a white room. I was lucid, so I asked the dream to show me a part of myself that needed healing. A child walked in me at 5 years old. He looked scared. I sat beside him and just listened. As I held him, the room filled with light, and I woke up with tears on my face. This wasn't symbolic. It was real healing, emotional, energetic, and even physical. I felt lighter for days afterward, like a burden had been lifted. Dreams allow you to meet parts of yourself that you've exiled. When you meet them with love, integration begins. 5. Exploring non-human awareness. I once became lucid and asked, what is it like to be something other than human? The dream shifted, and I found myself as a bird, soaring through the sky. But I wasn't just flying, I was the flight. I wasn't thinking with words. I was sensing, reacting, moving with the wind. My awareness had changed. Another time, I became a tree. I felt the slow, timeless rhythm of growth, the pulse of the earth, the movement of seasons within me. It was both alien and familiar. These experiences shattered my idea of consciousness as a human-only trait. In dreams, you can taste other modes of being, and each one expands your soul. 6. Asking the dream for truth. If you ever become lucid, try this. Ask the dream, what do I need to see right now? I did this once, and the dreamscape dissolved. I was in complete darkness. Then, slowly, stars appeared, constellations forming ancient symbols. A voice whispered, "You already know." The message was frustrating at first. But later, I understood. The dream doesn't always give you answers. It gives you you. It gives you mirrors, riddles, stories. Truth in dreams is rarely direct. It's felt, it's remembered. It's known in the bones, not the brain. 7. Dream death and rebirth. One of the most intense lucid experiences I had involved dying in a dream. I was in a collapsing building and I realized, this is a dream. I don't have to run. Instead of escaping, I let the dream consume me. Everything went black. I felt myself dissolve. But then, light, peace, a sensation of infinite space. When I came back, the dream world had changed. It was more vivid, more peaceful. And so was I. Dying in a dream isn't an ending, it's a return. A reminder that you are not your body, not even your mind. You are the awareness behind it all. 8. Meeting the architect of the dream. In one particularly lucid dream, I asked, "Who is creating this?" A figure appeared, neither male nor female, cloaked in light. They said nothing, but their presence answered the question. I was the architect, but not the ego self, something deeper. The dream wasn't being created in real time. It was being remembered, as if it already existed. This shifted everything. Lucid dreaming was no longer just exploration. It became sacred, a conversation with the source. 9. Shared dream spaces. Sometimes I've dreamt of places that feel too real, too consistent to be personal constructions. They appear again and again, vast libraries, celestial cities, landscapes untouched by memory. Other dreamers have described similar places. Are these collective realms, astral zones? Or is the subconscious simply more universal than we think? I don't know. But when I walk those streets, I feel like I'm not alone, like others have walked there too. Lucid dreaming blurs the line between inner and outer. And maybe, just maybe, some dreamscapes are shared. 10. The ongoing journey. Lucid dreaming is a practice, a devotion, a discipline. It requires patience, presence, and a willingness to unlearn what you know. But the rewards are beyond words. Each dream is a message. Each lucid moment is a chance to meet yourself, not the self you perform in daily life, the deeper one, the eternal one. Whether you fly, heal, dissolve, or create, the dream teaches, it reveals, it transforms. And the more you dream consciously, the more you live consciously. 11. Watching past lives like a movie. One night, I found myself in front of a small dream cinema, a quaint little place with red velvet curtains and golden lamps lining the walls. I had no idea what was being shown, but I took a seat instinctively. When the curtains opened, I saw myself, but not this version of me. It was me as someone else, perhaps in ancient Egypt, maybe in Rome, or even in a world that no history book has ever described. I didn't consciously recognize the setting, but something in me wept. My body in the dream stayed still, but tears fell without explanation. It was like remembering something you never knew you forgot. Whether it was a real past life or a metaphor constructed by my subconscious, I can't say, but that scene stayed with me. These dream memories are often more impactful than real ones, maybe because they come from a deeper part of the soul, a place where time isn't linear and identity is fluid. When you ask a dream to show you your past lives, it doesn't always give you answers. Sometimes, it gives you feelings that rearrange everything you thought you understood. 12. Asking the dream a deep question. Lucid dreaming isn't just a space for flying or fantasy. It's an oracle, a sacred mirror. One night, in full lucidity, I asked the dream, "What is my purpose?" Suddenly, everything went still. The sky turned a glowing indigo. The wind paused. Even my dream body stopped moving, like the entire world had taken a breath. Then, from the earth, a massive tree grew, ancient, cosmic, its roots spiraling through dimensions. A voice came, not with words, but with knowing. Be the roots before you long to be the wings. That's the thing about dreams. They don't answer in bullet points. They speak in myth, in metaphor, in vibration. But if you're willing to listen, they'll tell you truths your waking mind isn't ready to say out loud. 13. Stopping time inside a dream. Have you ever paused a dream, literally stopped time? I tried it once. I commanded the dream, pause everything. And it listened. Birds froze mid-air. Leaves hung motionless mid-fall. People in the street were statues with breath caught between seconds. I walked among them, observing their faces, expressions of joy, surprise, anger, all perfectly preserved. It felt like strolling through a museum of moments. That experience taught me something profound. If I could stop time in my dream, could I also pause my racing thoughts in waking life? Could I step back, breathe, and witness reality like that too? Stopping time in a dream isn't about control, it's about presence. About seeing without reacting, like consciousness in its purest form. 14. Consciously dying in a dream. This might sound terrifying, but it was one of the most liberating experiences I've ever had. I became lucid in a dream where I was standing at the edge of a towering cliff. I asked myself, what happens if I let go completely? And I jumped. There was no fear, no pain. Just a dissolve, like light fading into light. Like identity evaporating into the infinite. There was a moment of nothingness. Then, not darkness, but peace. The kind that doesn't exist in our waking vocabulary. Dying in a dream, especially consciously, is not an ending. It's a portal. It's letting go of form to touch formlessness, a simulation of ego death. It can be frightening at first, but what waits on the other side is worth everything. All of these experiences, watching past lives, asking existential questions, dying and being reborn, creating universes, they're not just fantasy. They are reflections, mirrors, portals. Lucid dreams show you who you are beyond who you think you are. They reveal your archetypes, your wounds, your deepest yearnings. They let you talk to the parts of yourself you've ignored. The inner child, the shadow, the higher self, the cosmic architect. And sometimes, they introduce you to someone unexpected, your dream guide. A presence that feels ancient, wise, and strangely familiar. I remember vividly the first time I met a dream guide. I was walking through a dream city I didn't recognize, a place that felt futuristic yet sacred, like a temple made of stars. A figure appeared, not male, not female, not even human, just presence. It looked at me, or rather into me, and said, "You're not here to find answers. You're here to remember." Then it smiled, and I felt centuries of memory flood back into me, none of which I could name, but all of which I knew. Your dream guide doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it's a symbol, a light, a landscape that feels alive. It might be a character, a mentor, an animal, but what matters is the frequency. When you meet it, you'll know. I share these stories not to claim mastery, but to open a door, to whisper, you are more than your waking self. Lucid dreaming isn't just a game. It's a spiritual path, a science of the soul, a playground of healing, and a meeting place for the infinite facets of who you are. Each time you close your eyes, you're standing at the edge of a vast internal cosmos, one where you are the explorer, the creator, and the mystery all at once. So tonight, before you sleep, ask your dream a question. Invite a guide, set an intention. The dream world is listening. And when you return, share what you find. Because in the realm of dreams, every story is a map, and yours might just guide someone else home.